Once upon a time, my good friend MKBHD decided to buy a $5,380 smartphone. It's called the Vertu Agent Q, which supposedly is the world's first ultra-premium AI agent phone for entrepreneurs, and has a very lucrative promise of literal gold-plated interiors. But he found out that the phone is kind of a little bit of a scam. I asked Marquez if I could borrow the phone, since I really like making phone calls. You hate phone calls. Yeah, you're right, I do hate phone calls. Be honest. I just want to see what it's made of. I said, be honest. I just want to see what it's made of on the inside. Thank you. Look, maybe if there's real gold inside, MKBHD can get some of his money back, and there's only one way to find out for sure. I'm really doing him a favor if you think about it. At first glance, though, the $5,380 Vertu Agent Q phone is falling apart without me even doing anything, so we're not off to a very good start. Overall, the phone feels pretty normal. There is a shiny red button over here on the left. This apparently lets you instantly chat with AI or a real person to book hotels and buy you stuff. I'll find out if it's still linked to Marquez's credit card later. You might think that a $5,000 smartphone would have some top-of-the-line material on the screen, like sapphire or diamonds or something. But as we work our way up through the most scale of hardness, we see that the Vertu Q is using regular tempered glass, which scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. Now, one of the main selling points listed on this rather strange Vertu website is that the phone has a ceramic pillow forged at 1,200 degrees Celsius for jade-like warmth. First of all, jade is not warm, and a ceramic pillow is a misnomer. But ceramic material is forged at 1,200 degrees Celsius, so at least they got that part right. Pulling out my diamond tester tool to double check the glass just for fun. If the screen or back camera lens were sapphire, it would trigger my diamond tester tool, just like we see on this Tissot watch face. But they didn't. We'll come back to that ceramic pillow in a second. What Vertu doesn't appear to be fibbing about, though, is the calfskin leather on the back. Apparently, calfskin is one of the more expensive and luxurious leathers, but it's also not as resistant to scratching and scuffing, and it would definitely not be my first choice for a phone material. Fully grown cowhide leather is far superior and way more resilient, as any cowboy can attest, but exploiting younglings is something billionaires just can't get enough of, so calfskin it is. Something Vertu definitely needs more of, though, is glue. Since the reason our ceramic pillow is lifting off, it's because Vertu only applied glue to the left half of the ceramic pillow during the build process. Not super great, but if we just put it back quickly, maybe Marquez won't notice. The sides of the Vertu Agent Q are made with stainless steel, and each of the side panels appear to be screwed in place with stainless steel screws. The 65-watt USB-C charging port is on the top right side, so you can look like a psychopath while charging your phone. On the left side, we have a volume rocker and the red magic agent button. I still might push this later just to see what happens. And again, it looks like the leather on the back of the phone is legit, stitching and all. The stitching pulls back through the leather in the same way it was mechanically added in the first place, with the red leather wrapping around the bottom edge of the phone where the charging port is usually supposed to be. There are two falcon wing flaps on the back. These hide SIM card tray slots. There's no expandable memory cards, but there is 1 terabyte in total of built-in storage. The top right camera is a 50 megapixel main unit, then a 54 megapixel telephoto camera in the center, and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera right above the dual LED flash that's nestled between the two falcon wings. This would be a pretty unique phone if it was like $500 or something, but they added one too many zeros for my taste. Good thing it's not your phone then, huh? Oh yeah. The 6-inch 1080p 120Hz AMOLED display does last for more than 23 seconds under the heat from my lighter without sustaining any permanent damage, so it's got that going for it, which is nice. Finally though, it's time to see how a ridiculously expensive smartphone fares in the bin test. With the stainless steel sides being screwed on and segmented, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And just like we would expect, separation immediately appears right at the antenna line. Remember, this $5,000 smartphone is not water resistant, so we aren't compromising any ingress protection with this new gap, since it never had any to begin with. You can't lose what you never had. But alas, even though the Vertu Agent Q is permanently kinked, it is still alive, which means it's time to harvest up all the gold remaining inside. If, and that's a very big if, there is any to be found in the first place. Even though Vertu said it is in there, I have my doubts. Getting inside is easy enough, just a few screws hold down the stainless steel rails to the foam body. And no, that's not your imagination, we have both red and blue Loctite on the screws at the same time. 'Cause why not? There's nothing wrong with more than one layer of protection. Speaking of multiple layers of protection, you might have thought I was at home making this video, which indeed I am, but the government thinks I'm currently in Greenland, which might explain some things. All thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN. A VPN, or virtual private network, allows me to be anywhere I want to in the world without ever leaving my house. With a VPN, I can watch geo-locked content or just avoid getting put on a list while I search the informational schematics of a guillotine, as one sometimes does. NordVPN scrambles my internet traffic, so from the outside, no one can see what I'm doing or where I'm at. Since NordVPN has 8,900 servers in more than 180 locations. And just like the theoretical gold that we're looking for inside the phone is being physically protected by modular bumpers and double thread lock screws, NordVPN is a world leader in online protection. You can try NordVPN with a 30-day money-back guarantee with the link in my description, nordvpn.com/jerryrig. You can even get a dedicated IP address, an ad blocker, scam call protection, and you can protect up to 10 devices with one account. nordvpn.com/jerryrig. Get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan, and hopefully we find more than $2 worth of gold inside the Vertu Agent Q. The side panels appear to clip into some gold contact pads inside the phone frame, probably so they can help transmit signal better for the phone calls and data. But seeing gold so near the frame makes me think we might be about to strike the mother lode. With the left side rails off, the red agent button comes loose, and surprisingly, extremely surprisingly, this button is actually sapphire. Well, I guess technically it's a ruby, but before Marquez gets too excited, natural rubies this size might go for $100 or so, but lab-grown rubies this size go for about $5, which is what I'm betting this one is. So far, we've recouped about 0.0943% of MKBHD's purchase price. It's a start. Inside the Falcon wings are more stainless steel screws. About 7 more screws are found under the top leather portion, and even more unfortunately placed screws are found underneath the camera lens glass. Vertu's definitely not winning any repairability awards with this one, but finally the back panel comes off, revealing no gold. We were expecting a cave of wonders, and all we got was a cave of plunders. And by plunders, I mean MKBHD was robbed. The image on the website shows some Fort Knox level adornment, but inside, Vertu isn't even pretending to have any gold. To be fair, I'm probably the only person on the planet who would actually go and check for the gold, so Vertu had a 1 in 8 billion chance of no one finding out. But maybe I'm being a bit too hasty. Let's dig a bit deeper. With the graphite cooling pad lifted up and the phone actually turned off, I can lift up the motherboard shield and still more nothings. There is copper tape on top of all the Lego style connectors, but this is just normal stuff that we've been seeing on my channel for the past decade and a half. Thanks for subscribing, by the way. I'll unplug the power button and the volume rocker and the large main 50 megapixel camera, along with a few of the long extension ribbons, and finally the battery. It just unclips like a little Lego. It's hard to say if the 48 megapixel telephoto camera has any of the optical image stabilization, cause sometimes these do internally, like on Samsung's periscope units. The large main camera does have OIS, but I do not see any mechanical apertures or mechanical zooms like we were promised. I'll lift the battery out of its enclosure. Thankfully it's pretty easy with its own battery pull tabs. Thumbs up for that. It's got 5,565 milliamp hours worth of capacity. I'll pull out a few more screws from the lower board. This one's not a charging port board, but there is a loudspeaker and rectangular vibrator motor. Definitely no balls. But yeah, to be fair, every smartphone on the planet technically does have some gold plating inside of it, usually between 60 cents and $2 worth of gold. This is electroplated onto the circuit board pins or connectors, since gold is superconductive and corrosion resistant. So Vertu isn't totally lying, since there is just as much gold in this Vertu phone as there is a Samsung or iPhone, but the way the website displays the gold in the picture is just a little disingenuous. The only way for Vertu to save face this time around is if they gold-plated the vapor chamber, like Red Magic did with the Red Magic Gold Saga. We already tested and verified the gold inside the Red Magic, which, by the way, costs 1/4 the price of the Vertu Agent Q. Immediately, it's pretty obvious to the naked eye that the coloring of each of the vapor chambers is very different, but there is one tool that we can use to verify. I'll cut out and remove a portion of each each of the vapor chambers and use an XRF analyzer. This tool determines the elemental composition of materials. And on top of the $5,000 Agent Q's vapor chamber, we only see iron and chromium, while inside the Red Magic Gold Saga, we see the same iron and chromium with the spattering of real gold plating. The vapor chambers are physically made with the same material, but only Red Magic has real gold on the outside. It's safe to believe your eyeballs on this one. The final verdict is that the Agent Q has no more gold inside than any other regular iPhone or Android. And the only truly valuable thing we found inside of this phone is the knowledge that you can't trust everything you read on the internet. Thanks for letting me borrow your $5,380 smartphone, Marquez. I did forget to ask though, did you want it back? Thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.